The imperial palace of Scorch Peaks had seen many disasters in its thousand-year history. Invasions, plagues, the Great Fire of 843. But none had quite prepared the staff for Princess Zarathix. "You're fired." The Dragon Empress's roar shook the crystal chandeliers as tutor number 20 fled the nursery, robes smoking. "Get out." Maria Santos kept her head down and kept mopping. She'd worked as a janitor in the palace for 3 years, ever since the dimensional rifts opened and humans found themselves sharing the world with dragons, elves, and a dozen other species. It was decent work, good pay, and if you stayed quiet and invisible, the immortal beings mostly forgot you existed. And you, the Empress's massive golden form filled the hallway, smoke curling from her nostrils. "Human, clean up this mess." The incompetent fool knocked over the inkwell. "Yes, Your Majesty," Maria said, grabbing her supplies. The nursery was chaos. Scrolls everywhere. Ink splattered across marble worth more than Maria's annual salary. And in the center of it all, a small dragon wormling, no bigger than a house cat, was shrieking at a pitch that made Maria's teeth ache. Princess Zarathix was 3 months old and had already driven off 20 of the finest tutors in the realm. The previous one had lasted 40 minutes. Maria started cleaning, trying to ignore the screaming. But something about the sound tugged at her. It wasn't anger. It was exhaustion, frustration, the same sound her nephew made when he was overtired and overstimulated. "Hey there, Pequena," Maria said softly, more to herself than the wormling. The shrieking stopped. Princess Zarathix's head whipped around, jeweled eyes fixing on Maria. The wormling's scales were iridescent, shifting between gold, crimson, and violet. "Beautiful and tear-stained. You're just tired, aren't you?" Maria set down her mop and sat on the floor, ignoring every protocol about not addressing royalty directly. All these stuffy tutors trying to teach you things when you just want to sleep. The wormling chirped, a small, pitiful sound. Maria's grandmother used to say music could soothe any troubled soul. Without thinking, Maria began to sing, not in common, but in Spanish, the lullaby her abuela had sung to her, that she'd sung to her nephew 100 times. "Duérmete mi niña, duérmete mi amor, duérmete pedazo de mi corazón." Princess Zarathix went absolutely still, her head tilted, listening. Then, slowly, she crawled across the marble floor toward Maria. "Este niño lindo, que nació de noche, quiere que lo lleven a pasear en coche." The wormling climbed into Maria's lap, curled up, and within 30 seconds was snoring softly, tiny puffs of smoke rising with each breath. Maria froze, suddenly aware she was holding the dragon princess, the heir to the throne, the most important being in the realm, currently drooling on her work uniform. The door exploded inward. The Dragon Empress filled the doorway, eyes blazing, clearly ready to incinerate whoever had made her daughter cry. She stopped, smoke dissipating. "What?" she said slowly. "Did you do?" I sang to her, Your Majesty. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to." "She's asleep." The Empress stared at her sleeping daughter like she was witnessing a miracle. "She hasn't slept more than an hour at a time in a week." The healers said she was healthy. The tutors said she was impossible. I thought. Her voice cracked. "I thought something was wrong with her." "Nothing's wrong with her," Maria said gently, stroking the wormling's scales. "She's just a baby. Babies need sleep more than they need tutors." The Empress transformed, shrinking into her humanoid form, still imposing, still radiating power, but somehow more vulnerable. She was ancient and immortal and ruled half the continent. But in that moment, she just looked like an exhausted mother. "I have read every text on wormling rearing," she said quietly. "Consulted with the finest scholars. None of them mentioned." She gestured helplessly at Maria and the sleeping princess. "Respectfully, Your Majesty, scholars don't raise babies. People do." The Empress sat down on the floor, something that probably violated a dozen protocols, and watched her daughter sleep. "What is your name?" "Maria Santos, Your Majesty." "Maria Santos." The Empress tested the name. "I'm offering you a position." Royal caretaker to the princess. Triple your current salary. Your own quarters in the royal wing. And the authority to throw out any tutor who forgets that my daughter is a child first and a princess second. Maria looked down at the sleeping wormling, then at the most powerful being in the realm sitting cross-legged on her nursery floor. I'm just a janitor, Your Majesty. I don't know anything about raising dragons, but you know about raising children. The Empress's eyes met hers. That's more valuable than all the ancient wisdom in my libraries. Will you help me? Maria thought about her studio apartment, her night shifts, her student loans. Then she thought about this tiny princess who just needed someone to sing her to sleep. Yes, Maria said, but I'm still singing in Spanish. The Empress smiled, the first genuine smile Maria had ever seen on her face. I wouldn't have it any other way. Princess Zarathix snored, content in the arms of a human janitor who'd done what 20 royal tutors couldn't. Remember that even dragon princesses are just children who need love, patience, and a good lullaby. The next morning, the palace issued a proclamation. The princess had a new caretaker, and every evening, if you listened carefully, you could hear a soft Spanish lullaby drifting from the royal nursery, followed by the peaceful sound of a dragon child, finally, blessedly asleep.